James Banks here for Definitive Esports, and I'm here at i45. We've just finished the first day of tournament games, and I'm here with JoRoSaR, one of the casters of the StarCraft 2 event. How are you feeling, and how have you found it so far?
It's been a lot of fun. Quite tiring. We've had to. There was a little bit of an issue halfway through today where, as you probably know, internet in the entire hall more or less went down for a period of about 45 minutes. But the admins have been great. The tournament actually got back on track, and the group games are more or less finished now. So it was cool. We had a little bit of difficulty trying to find games to stream because the players were just getting their games over and done with as quickly as possible. But we saw some really good games today. A couple of upsets, interesting strategies, and things are really well set up for the double elimination bracket tomorrow.
Yeah, I remember when the internet went out, I saw players moving their seats very quickly and complaining and shouting and just generally very unhappy. Now, do you think that affects the players' mental games at all when they're when something like that happens, if they're in the middle of a game?
It probably does to a large extent. I mean, I was lucky in that I was in the middle of a game that had only lasted about 45 seconds when the lag occurred, so the players were totally cool with it, and we got to regame a little bit later. But there must have been some people who were halfway through a game, and that must have really affected them a lot. And if players get into a position where it looks like, oh, I think I might be winning this position, or I think I might be losing, and then the game disconnects, and you have to get admins involved and try and figure out exactly what's happening with from the replay and things like that. But by the looks of things, everyone really got their act together, and I've heard since, fingers crossed, of no displeasure and no disagreements amongst the players. So it looks like they've sorted it out quite well.
That's what we want, definitely. So you're kind of tucked away here at the back in your nice little secluded area. How's the casting been? How have you been treated well? Are you all happy?
It's been interesting so far. When we arrived here, we're of course in the room just behind the camera over there, where we were in a room with all the other casters as well. So the Modern Warfare 3 guys and the Team Fortress guys are all in the room with each other, and there was an ongoing joke before casting started this morning that, oh, we're going to see who can shout the loudest to piss the other casters off. But as it turns out, everything was fine. We actually flipped the table around so we have a nicer background with the wall. We got some of the old boards from the previous i45 event. We stuck that as a backdrop to the stream, and it was more or less an improvised job a little bit, but it's turned out really well. We haven't really picked up too much of the other casters. They're a great laugh to be with as well. And tomorrow after the group stages, we'll be on the main stage for the grand finals, so things looking on the up.
So you get to see a lot of the games of all different levels. Can you see any specific players that are up and coming, or someone we may not have heard about that you could recommend from games you've watched today?
Ooh, I'm going to cheat a little bit here, because I was also casting the Blizzard World Championship Series UK Qualifiers on the Sunday, and Famut got into the final. He was defeated by Bling in the final, I believe, but managed to get through a really, really tough bracket, including Urk, who's one of the strongest UK players, and actually he's been performing very well at this tournament, so he's going to be going very far in the brackets tomorrow. But Famut has now been picked up by GG, who have a lot of players around, as you probably know, and I tip him to hopefully get better pretty quickly. I mean, he sort of came from almost relative obscurity into, I'm just going to go and beat these really good players. So I'm really excited to see him around. And then, of course, you have the usual suspects. Bling and Fargo, I believe, are the only two players to not drop a single map. So they went 8-0, and they also 2-0'd all of their opponents as well. Dream also went 8-0, but dropped one map, and I think there were one or two other players that have dropped one or two maps as well. So it looks like at the very tip-top end, it's going to be really close tomorrow. As far as the up-and-comers are concerned, I have to be honest, there's so much really good talent at the sharp end, it's going to be very difficult for them to get past the first couple of rounds, but we'll see after the round of 16.
So you're saying there's a lot of up-and-coming talent. The UK scene really suffers from being able to push these players out. Players get to a certain level, and in Bling's case, he was really lucky that Dignitas could propel him, but there's not many organisations that can do that. Do you know anything could you suggest anything that needs to happen in the UK to help these players get to the next level, so we see some more competing in Europe at the top end?
It's a little bit difficult on some levels, because you can see the way the scene has gone, especially in North America, has really taken off. MLG is unbelievably huge. And then you have rival organizations like, of course, IPL and NASL, all having their own massive tournaments as well, generating a lot of interest all around the States and Canada. And it means that instead of just StarCraft 2 being accessible to everyone, esports is becoming very accessible. And in the UK, we're seeing a little bit less of this. In fact, the most recent EGL in Blackpool didn't even have PC gaming, although they may or may not be reintroducing it. I'm not sure. But we need to see more organizations competing. If anything, despite being at the multiplayer tournament and being at i45, i45 could use more competitors in the UK scene to try and develop esports and get just whet people's appetite for competitive gaming at this sort of level, and hopefully that'll spur more and more UK players onwards to become better and better, and we should be seeing a lot more people in, like, for example, European GM. We've seen a couple of players come through, Blink being, of course, a shining example of that, and he's possibly, in fact, I'm pretty sure he's the #1 seed and the favorite to take this tournament, and the way he's been playing so far, there's a very, very good chance of that happening. We just need more people like him, if possible. So hopefully the players themselves as well get involved and try and nurture the next generation of players that will come forward, and maybe we'll get some more UK players down the line.
I hope so. I really hope so. So, your co-caster, how have you found it? Are you finding good chemistry, working well together? I'm not sure if you've casted with him before at all.
No, Martijn and I have never casted together before. In fact, we only really met on the Friday night. Oh, wow. And it was very interesting, actually. We ended up walking about 45 minutes to a Frankie and Benny's, sort of like all the way yonder, and we had a really good dinner and came back to the hotel. Everything was cool and chill, and we just had a really good feeling coming into today. We've complemented each other really well, I feel, and with the exception of the technical difficulties, rather, on stream, I think it's been really, really good. I really enjoy casting with him. He's a fantastic guy, really good analyst as well. And I look forward to casting with him tomorrow.
Great, great. So looking away from this event, where else can we see you? Where can we spot your content? And what's next for you?
Oh, good questions. Well, I'm currently casting for Playhem TV 3 days a week. I'm doing the Playhem European dailies on Mondays, Tuesdays, and Thursdays, as it currently is. I might have a couple of projects in the pipeline. I'm going to be casting the qualifiers of the Battle.net World Championship Series, I think all the way through until week 6. And I'm not going to be casting week 7 or 8, unfortunately, because I will be in the States, and I will be in the States for MLG Anaheim, which is going to be a really awesome event. And then hopefully I'll be popping back for the finals at the BAFTA venue, of course, on Piccadilly. So that's going to be very exciting. Yeah, so fingers crossed I'll see you guys there.
So MLG Anaheim, will you be doing like the community cast there, or are you just going for visiting and pleasure purposes?
As far as it currently stands, I'm only going to visit. I don't want to promise anything at the moment. I'd love to pop in as a community caster.
MLG, listen.
But no promises as of yet. I will make the relevant inquiries. Of course, it's very difficult to get people in from Europe to MLG because of cost reasons. The flights are simply so expensive transatlantic, but I happen to be in the country anyway, so I'll see what I can do.
Great. So, ending this up, rounding this up, anything you want to promote, anything you want to say, yeah, final words, really.
I really want to thank everyone at i45, especially Karn, for having me. I think he's put on a fantastic event. Everyone here has rushed off their feet, the admins as well. Underappreciated heroes of this tournament. Most of them are volunteers, don't get paid, arrive here on their own time and money, and they put in the hours, setting up, packing up, as well as all the troubles during the tournament to get these things underway. I think they're very, very underappreciated, so massive round of applause to them. Thank you very much to Karn as well, as mentioned, for getting all this stuff sorted. And you can follow me at Twitter, at JoRoSaR. And I now have a brand new shiny Facebook page up at facebook.com/JoRoSaR as well. So hopefully I'll be casting a lot more in the near future. And yeah, we'll see how it goes.
Great. Well, thank you very much for your time. And we look forward to hearing from your cast tomorrow.
Great speaking to you, man. Cheers.